我是主持人 Reirachu。首先恭喜 CFO 拿下今天本场比赛的胜利。Hey guys, I'm Reirachu and welcome to the post-match winner interview. Today we have none other than CFO's AD carry Shunn. Can you introduce yourself, please? 那今天很高兴邀请到 AD 位的小顺来到采访席，先跟大家打个招呼吧。
大家好，我是 CFO 的 AD 顺，可以叫我阿顺。
So you won the spring split finals matchup today and are in top 3 in summer with this win. How do you feel right now? 那今天又是终于为了春季决赛而复仇，并且锁定了前3名，现在的感受如何呢？
很开心嘛，复仇成功。春季赛输了他们总是要血死的，今天就血死回来，这样很开心。
So he said that the fact that they managed to get the revenge match win, of course, they're very happy about it. He still remembers that they lost to PSG during the spring splits finals, and the fact that they were able to win today, that they managed to do it, just makes him happy. So the next question I want to ask is that in the first game in Picks and Bans, PSG first picked the Kalista, and then you pulled out the Draven to counter her. Can you tell us more about this matchup? 那接下来问题就是关于第一局，中对面亮出了克里斯塔，然后你们是后首选出瑞文做应对，可以分享一下就这2只角色的应对方式吗？
这就在我们 BP 之内吧，就是比谁凶，他们克里凶，我达瑞文更凶，这样就不怕。
So he said that for Kalista and Draven, the matchup to him, it's just a matter of who plays more fierce in terms of lane, who's more aggressive. He says that usually, like if you're going up against a Kalista player and they're playing a bit aggressive in lane, he says for him, he plays Draven even more aggressively than anyone else would play Kalista. So as long as he's not afraid of playing aggressive in the matchup, then he would win it. So the next question I want to ask is that PCS compared to other regions tend to pick less squishy supports. So how would you personally rank tank versus squishy supports in terms of pick priority? 那 PCS 赛区似乎比较少选软辅，那顺选手个人对于软跟硬辅的优先级别是什么呢？
我是觉得，当然其他赛区都软辅比较多嘛，可是觉得 PCS 的风格就是比较偏硬辅的，需要支援中路之类的，这是 PCS 的风格吧。
He said that he thinks that it's down to a stylistic preference and it's down to the PCS playstyle because even though other regions tend to pick more squishy supports, he thinks that in PCS the general playstyle is we like to play tanks and we like to play support champions that can go over to the mid lane and help them out and kind of help out the other lanes as well. So it's not just a 4-lane pick. So my next question that I want to ask is, who do you think are the top 3 AD carries within PCS? Can you rank them in order? 那顺选手个人认为 PCS 前3名的 ADC 会是谁呢？能够帮我们排名一下？
应该第1名，心中第1名应该是 Unify， 第2是Reirachu， 第3是 NN， 大概这样。
也可以包含你在内哦。
那我就第0名吧。
第
0名。
第0。好。So he said that within PCS, he thinks that the best AD carry would be Unified. The second best AD carry would be Wako, and third he would give over to Eminem. And that he said if he would have to rank himself amongst the mix, he would rank himself as number 0. 那对于 Unify 就是顺选手心中的第1名，今天的表现有什么想法吗？
今天后面几场可能有点混，都是队友 carry，就感觉今天都压不太到，这样。
So he says that if he had to rate Unified's performance today, he feels that especially in the last few games, he thinks that Unified was getting pressured in lane as well as pressured by the rest of his team, so he wasn't able to put on a carry performance. So, I want to ask about week 6 of regular season because you played that Nautilus for one of the series. What was the experience of playing support like for you in a competitive match? 那之前有在例行赛玩了一把纳蒂鲁斯，那时玩辅助的经验会是什么呢？
诶，蛮特别的吧，就是我平常都射手了，忽然间要我去开战，而且又是打比赛，当然会有点紧张，但是自己觉得开的还可以嘛，对。
So he said that especially because he was playing a champion such as Nautilus, and it was in a competitive game, and it was a key game as well, where he had to suddenly play support. And playing Nautilus, he was responsible for starting those team fights, so he was, of course, pretty nervous going into that one. But he thinks that he did pretty well. He thinks that he was able to start off those team fights pretty good, especially for a Phil. So, my next question is this is your first year playing in the PCS, and now you're just one best of 5 series away from qualifying for Worlds. Are you nervous for your next game? 那这项问题就是今年，毕竟是小顺第一年参加 PCS 职业联赛，然后现在离世界赛的门票就只剩下一场多五的胜利，会紧张吗？还是说会有没有一点小期待呢？
比赛的话，当然难免会有点紧张嘛，但是期待还是多一点，就对，期待还是会多一点。
有没有考虑到，就是下一场赢了之后就能去世界赛？有考虑过吗？
当然会有，就是在心里这样子这样想，有那个澎湃嘛。
So he said that, of course, in his heart, he's definitely thought of the fact that as long as they win their next match, he'll be able to participate in Worlds. He said that it's also a bit difficult to avoid feeling nervous before any type of competitive game. So, of course, those feelings of nerves are always going to be there. But as to the next match, he's actually more excited and more looking forward to that than nervous. So, my last question for today is how do you feel about facing off against BYG next? And this is a BYG who's been on fire lately. Did you expect to meet BYG so far along in the playoffs in week 3? 那这一个问题想问的就是，对于下一场比赛需要面对现在在非常火热的状态中的 BYG，有什么感受呢？然后之前有没有想到会在胜者组遇到 BYG 呢？
呃，我就觉得我们就做好我们会的，就去这样子去面对他们吧。至于有没有想过在圣卓会遇到，应该是有啊，我觉得全代班的实力都蛮接近的，就是看谁状态好一点而已，这样。
So he said that they don't really focus on who their opponent is going to be. He thinks it's more important to concentrate on yourself and your team and do everything that your team needs it to do going into the competition. As to whether or not he expected BYG to make it so far into the playoffs, he says that he thinks that all of the teams in the top half of the PCS regular season bracket are all very close together in terms of strength and just where each team eventually places or how the team does in playoffs depends on the team's condition around those couple of days. All right, thank you so much, Shunn, for the interview, and of course, good luck in the upper bracket semis next week. 好的，那非常感谢小顺接受今天的赛后采访，当然要是 CFO 在下周的胜者组办决赛，加油，拜拜。
谢谢，拜拜。
拜。